Hello everyone, here's Chen and Atabey. So yesterday a friend left us a question. Um, he says, I would love to see you do a video on self-reliance, when to trust your own judgment or rely on the advice of others.
Mhm. So this question is about when to trust ourselves instead of trusting something else outside of ourselves. And I'm reminded of this story of this old man who asked God for help in crossing a river. And so he stands there in front of the river, and suddenly he sees a boat come by, and the boat offers him a ride, and he says, "No, no, no, I'm waiting for God." And so the boat leaves, and the man continues to walk down the river a little bit, and he sees this bridge, and he says, "No, no, no, no. This is not God. These are just people who built this. I'm waiting for God."
Yeah.
And so he continues to go down, and then even the river it shrinks. It gets really really shallow,
Yeah.
and uh, and he says, "No, no, no. This is not God. I'm waiting for God." And then again, the current rises, and the river takes him, and then when he reaches the other side, he meets God, and he says, "God, why didn't you send help? I was looking for you. I was asking for your help." And God says, "What do you mean, man? I sent you a boat. I sent you a bridge. I even shrunk the water of the river for you."
Hmm.
So it's often like this, no? Um, we think, yeah, we forget to see kind of what is in front of us because we're stuck waiting for something else and some external thing that we yeah that's not even that we're waiting for it to appear. It's that we're waiting for it to appear in a certain way and the way that we expect it to appear. So this can be a trap, right? And and I think also there's a little bit of a deeper essence here in this question, which we talked about in the first video, which is, I mean, really, where is this self, right? So if and where is this God, and where are these others? And when there's a deeper recognition that it's all the same, then there is no separation, and then we can listen to ourselves with kind of the same amount of attention that we listen to others with this, which is the same kind of attention that we listen to a flower, that we listen to the weather, that we listen to our parents, that we listen to our lovers, that we listen to our friends, that we listen to the sound of the rain, that we listen to the sip of tea. And it all carries the same kind of advice, and it's up to us to discern whether or not we want to take that advice. So that's what I think at a deep level. There's that. And then there's also a more surface kind of way, right? Which is just like how is this applicable in day to day, moment to moment existence? Because certainly I've had plenty of people talk to me about getting stuck making decisions. It's like, oh, yes, I want this, but I'm not sure. And I don't know if now is the time. And I can choose these 10 different things. I'm not sure where to go, right? So there's often this kind of decision paralysis, which comes over us. And especially today, right, we have a billion options for just about everything. Like, oh, you want a new toothbrush? Guess what? There's 100,000 different brands.
Yeah.
You want a new shirt, or there's, whatever it is that you want, there's so much of it. So how do we make choices, and what do we rely on? And so yes, like we can get overwhelmed seeking outside information if we're seeking, like I need to read all of the Amazon reviews. I need to ask all of my friends who've been to the class before. Yes, I need to have all of the information before I make a decision. Yes, this can lead to a lot of paralysis. And perhaps there is, I find, that there is this deeper sense of knowing that emerges immediately when many different options are presented before me. Inside of me, there is already an attraction, a pull to the one thing that is the one that I really want. And And for me, it works to trust that. It works to trust that almost immediately. It doesn't mean that I don't go ahead and read the reviews, or that I don't do a little bit of research and find, compare a few different things. It doesn't mean that I don't do that. But 9 times out of 10, I just go, boom, for the thing that feels right. And now, that doesn't work perfectly all the time. Sometimes I make the wrong choice. And that's okay too, right? Like, what's a wrong choice anyway? It just comes with a lesson. And this is and there's a balance here, right? There's a little bit of a balancing act, and there's something there around self-reliance or self-trust that is being built over time. And how do I build that? How do I build the self-trust? Well, and the self-reliance. Well, like, I show up for myself. So if I tell myself that I'm going to wake up at a certain time to sweep the floor, or to exercise, or to practice yoga, or to meditate, or to brush my teeth, and I do that over and over and over and over again, this slowly builds self-trust. Like, all right, I can trust myself to do the things that I tell myself that I'm going to do. And as that self-trust is building, then I'm also kind of clearing myself. I become more and more clear, especially if the things that I'm building trust with are things that make me transparent, meaning that things can just go through me without latching onto me. I'm not holding on to, right? I can be in the state of letting go. Then I'm transparent, and then I can have more trust that in these actions that I take, that are coming from this deep sense of intuition that is innate within me, that this is actually good, not only for the small me, this Atabey here in this body, but also for the bigger me, right? So for the space that I am in, for the people around me, for my relationships, for the plants, trees, the birds around me, and even downstream, right? For this country that I'm in, for all of the people in this planet, yada, yada, yada. And sometimes it's true, and sometimes it's not, right? Because I'm not perfect, and doesn't matter how much I polish my mirror, yeah, there's still some imperfection there. But it's this practice, right? It's this practice of showing up for myself, building self-reliance, becoming more transparent, and continuing to act from this place of truth for me, right? What feels authentic, what is feeling like, yes, there is just, I don't need to think about it. It just feels right. And sometimes it's right, and sometimes I make mistakes. And then, yes, when I make a mistake, I apologize. I try my best to learn from it. I have to often go back and clean up the mess that I made, um, to fix, patch up the hole. It happens like this. And sometimes it's fixable, and sometimes it's not. And sometimes there's pain, and all of this. And this is part of the lesson. But this also builds trust in myself, and also builds reliance. And of course, it doesn't mean that sometimes the information can come from anywhere, right? So, like, it can come from a friend giving me a call and saying, hey, did you see the, I don't know, did you see the new crypto coin that you should really invest your $50 in? And I know I had no idea, but it feels right in that moment. Okay, good. So this information comes from somebody else, right? Some advice comes from some other place. It comes from far away. And it's okay to listen to this. And if I'm really intimate with myself, then there is no difference between where it's coming from. It's all me. It's all me in this, like, big, big sense of who I am. And then I think the last element of this question, which is perhaps the deeper essence of it, is this, because the person was also somehow asking around reliance on God, right? And God, the way that we've talked about it here, is not separate from myself, and not just me, also you and all of us. We're all the same God, which is everything, really, the totality of reality, the divine, the universe, the cosmos. You call it whatever way you want. It doesn't really matter. But there is also this question of reliance on that. And yes, in that sense, in the greatest sense of it, if we are everything that exists, then we rely on everything that exists at all times. And there is no separation, and there is no difference. It's all the same. And so then what happens there, right? When I'm really tuned into that awareness, then all that I can do is just receive and surrender, and be in this attitude of surrender. Like this, and when I'm not, then I'm fighting, right? I'm not really recognizing, like this man in the looking to get across the river. all the things are coming before me, all the things that I need are coming before me, but I'm fighting, I'm swimming against the current. And of course, I drown in that. But if I'm really able to practice surrender, receive the things that come to me, internalize them, and really make them my medicine, then this attitude of surrender can come in. And this attitude of surrender is magnificent because it's a really relaxed place of receptivity. And I think we often, I'll speak for myself also, it's often very easy to be in a place of giving and doing, right? It's like I make the food, I chop the veggies, I clean the floor, you make the tea now. Um, but it's kind of more challenging to be in a place of receiving. And now I'm gonna just receive. I'm gonna allow somebody to do something for me. I'm gonna allow somebody to wash my feet or to massage my face or to pamper me. It's often more difficult to be in this state of receptivity, and this requires cultivating this attitude of surrender. And and I think we can talk really a lot about surrender. It's an endless, endless topic. But I think the place I'd like to take it to is it's just this place of death, because yes, this somehow feels like the ultimate surrender. Like there will come this moment in time where I will cease to be, and there will be a moment there that is a transition between being and this non-being. And that moment seems like the deepest invitation to surrender. And that moment is coming for all of us. And it's not something to be fearful of necessarily, but perhaps something to practice for, right? Because in that moment, the ultimate surrender will be required of us, and we will give it, whether we are practicing surrender or not. But we will either give it in a fight, we'll be fighting to hold on to these threads of this life, or we will be able to just let go.
Mm. Thank you for sharing. Um, I will listen deeply, act, act with courage, and remember that trust in ourselves is trust in the divine. 好。